All right, guys, we're back from Cali, and I'm supposed to be working on somebody else's car, but I have everything to kind of put the turbo together, at least temporarily. The Tial stainless steel exhaust housing has been out of stock. They're working on getting more in stock. They do all of the casting and machining in-house. So they have a foundry, which is insane. That's something like pouring molten metal into castings and all of that. They do that all in-house. It's really crazy. But because they do it all in-house, sometimes they get backed up. So what they did was they sent me a mock-up exhaust housing that had some sort of flaw as far as the manufacturing process. So they said, you know what, do whatever you need to do. The RS exhaust wheel is a little bit different, so you're going to need to grind it out. I said, okay. Well, I got a grinder or a flap wheel. I said, we'll make this thing fit so I can at least start mocking up the lines and getting all of the compressor. So I have to modify the compressor housing to put a really tight radius 90 on it. So I can go ahead and do that. That way, when the proper exhaust housing is ready to ship, I literally just swap them. Done. So I'm going to show you, I got started. Like I said, not my plan to come down here and work on my stuff because I really need to finish up this TSX, which I will show you guys. But first, turbo bits. All right, this is the exhaust housing. So this is what it's going to look like when I get the other one. However, I've been doing a little bit to this one. You can see they went ahead, made sure that I knew this was a mock-up. They scribed it in here. Let's see, I don't know. It says mock-up. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. But what needed to happen was this lip in here wasn't the right diameter or radius. So what I did, took this guy, cranked her up, 40 grit. Stainless is some serious stuff. So you can see the contour on this turbine blades. You can see right here how it's got a kind of interesting curve to it. Well, that's where the hang-up was. So you can see how freely this thing turns. Whenever I put the exhaust housing down on it, it sat right on that contour, and the whole exhaust housing would turn around. So that doesn't work. However, after probably 20 minutes with that sander, now that moves. You can still hear a little bit of something in there. Once I push down on it, like obviously I'm not going to be running this car with this on this. But now I can at least put the bolts in here, which that's another thing that Tial does that is just insane. The normal brackets are just these like cold rolled steel, like cast looking pieces. Look how beautiful theirs are. They are machined stainless steel. And from what they were telling me, these are Inconel bolts. That's like some IndyCar shit right there. Beautiful parts. The machining is absolutely gorgeous. That's why I use this stuff. They do all their stuff in-house. Their quality control is like insane. It is if they don't like the way something looks or machines, or I think they do like an X-ray on these since they are cast, and that's why this one got sent to me. You can see there's a little bit of like a little puffy spot right here, and I think that I remember him telling me that there was like voids in the casting, and that's why it failed the final test before it went out to like customers and stuff. So there's probably like a void, because when you cast stuff, you're just pouring molten metal in, and it kind of fills up. And if you don't get like a really good pour, or something is just not quite right, you'll get voids and you'll get some funky spots. So would this probably work? Maybe, but they don't mess around. They're not going to let you have something that won't for sure work for a very long time. The other thing I did with the Tial guys is they offer stainless steel fittings for the inlet. On these Garrett turbos, from where they're a ball bearing, you don't necessarily need full oil pressure. So this has a 30 thousandths hole drilled in the end of it as a restrictor, and this fitting is stainless steel. So don't have to worry about it getting all cruddy. You don't have to worry about it breaking off if you go to tighten it. The other thing is, on these Garrett turbos in the center section here, it has a tapered, almost like a brake line. So it's got like a flare on the inside that actually gets, that's what does the sealing, right? So sometimes you'll see like a crush washer down here underneath the head. Well, theirs are all fully machined to accept that flare that's built into there. The other thing I got was Vibrant offers these great fittings that screw in for water. I'm sure you could use these for whatever. They're M14 by 1.5, I think. So they're a metric thread here, and then they go to a -6. This is your water lines. The center section is water cooled now. That's one thing that my old turbo was lacking, and with the temperatures that we run on the exhaust, because we're so send all the time, this water cooling should really help keep this turbocharger cool. I did pick up something from ATP Turbo for the drain. I got two different versions. One's extended down, aluminum with a little O-ring. I don't know if I'm going to use that yet or not. The other one has just your standard MPT. I didn't know which one I needed, and they were so cheap, I just got them both. So ATP Turbo is where I got my drain flange. They're in the other room. I'm going to put these bolts in here, and that might be it for today. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. All right, check it out. Pretty sick. I just want to drive, but this is sick. These little pieces here, they actually fit into like a groove. Yeah, that's why they were machined so beautifully. They just pop right down in there. They almost are hub centric, like a wheel or something. So you just put the bolts in, and they're already where they actually need to be, except for they can be clocked in different positions. Pretty nice in comparison to what you would normally have to deal with. I'm so excited to get this thing on the car. I guess then I'll have to go see Hal again over at Dynasty, get this thing tuned up. All right. That's that. At least I got something done. So I got Nick's header modified to where it's up under the car. Yeah, I actually did something I was supposed to. Well, he called me and wanted me to hold off on some stuff because he's got some heat shielding to bring down to go down the center of the car. So I paused on that and started playing with my car. Well, I wanted to see how my intercooler design that I have been playing around with was going to work. And one side is going to work fine. The other side is not going to work. It's going to run basically right into the hood. But when I pulled the old intercooler out, I found something that sucks a lot. So at Grid Life South, I went off and it kind of bottomed out the front bumper, and it kind of just pushed the bumper up and went off to the side, and it actually whacked the oil cooler. And I knew about that because it was leaking, so I put this little temporary oil cooler on it. However, now that I pulled the intercooler off, the radiator is actually hurt too. You can see that's what it normally would look like. Travel across and smash. So it's not leaking, but from where the bumper booped the bottom of the radiator, and my radiator mounts are so rigid, this in-tank is actually shifted up. And every tube basically past that mount kind of goes uphill. Like I said, it's not leaking, but that sucks. I just rebuilt this radiator last year. Oh, look at all the blue. It's a lot of blue. Blue everywhere. I mean, everywhere is blue. So I don't really know what to do. Like I said, it's not leaking, but it really sucks. That was brand new. That was a bunch of work. And I'm kind of tired of spending money on this car at this point. Like, this year is going to be kind of a light year for me because we are having the baby. So I wanted to just take some time to chill. I was just going to do all the updates to the thing and not really do a whole lot of events, just so that I could, work through some other things, get some things tidied. But that sucks. I'm really kind of over this thing right now. Kind of bummed. I might just say screw it and send it, but that's not exactly ideal. I'm not real thrilled about that. One thing that is kind of cool, I'm going to show you the side of the intercooler that is going to work, and something that's going to be kind of neat that worked out when I thought it wasn't going to work. So let's check that out. All right, so we're going to start with the side that is going to work. This basically sits right there, and you can see that kind of lines up with this. However, what you guys can't see is there's a radiator line there. So we are going to be using, finally getting to use these guys, Vibrance HD clamps. So what we're going to have to do is actually put this in the corner over here instead of centered. Originally I was going to center this, and I'm glad that I didn't like bend all this and cut the hole, because obviously that wouldn't have worked. It would have been super high. It would have been really odd. But if we drop this guy down in here, that fits just fine. So that's exciting. At least that's one bit of good news, right? With that being said, this was going to be over here, right? That's not going to work. Because, well, I just had an idea. If I weld a tube onto here instead of just welding the clamp right on there, that actually might work out okay. So if you guys check this, if that was just like that, like, it's almost as tall as the halfway through the throttle body. So trying to make that curve and having the hood actually shut, that wouldn't work so great. But maybe if I put a tube on there and then we kind of lay this guy like that. Now that looks like it could work. All right. Well, that's cool. I think we might do that, because then it'd basically be a straight shot. So I don't love the fact that this is just going to be a straight 90 off of here, but I think it's going to be okay. I'll use one of the cast elbows so that it just comes straight out, and it's a nice tight bend, like so, kind of like this. See how that just kind of shoots right out of the intercooler, and it's a nice tight 90. I've got all of this that I can utilize, so maybe I'll just put one of these with that on the end. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. All right, so I guess we kind of have a solution. Both of the end tanks are going to work, just not quite as I had, imagined while I was at the house without the car. So, yeah, I guess we're going to, at some point, I will get on to bending up the end tanks for the new intercooler. That way we can get it mounted. I'm going to mount it better than it was. It's going to have these Vangean clamps on it, which will be nice. The whole new intercooler setup is going to be sweet. I think it's going to work. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's it. That's it for this video. Let me know what you thought. Do you have any thoughts of what might be a better idea? Would you guys just send it with the radiator? You guys got to let me know. I don't know. I normally, my normal me wouldn't leave something like that. That's just, I'm really picky. But let me know. Comments below. Comment. Tell me. Tell me what you guys think. Leave the radiator. Send it. Make a fan shroud for it so that it doesn't overheat after I hot lap it. But let me know. Send it with the radiator as it is. It's not leaking. It's not leaking. So let me stress that. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. See you guys soon.